It's under news and information, and you'll be able to see all the financials that they gave the board packet for. Because Diane put it in there. So go to the district tab, it'll say district, and then from there you'll go to where it says news and information, and then from news and information you'll see the finance section. So the numbers I'm getting is the actual numbers they had at the board retreat, or charge, excuse me, they have during that time. So these are the numbers that I have to share with you. And the first one was taking a look at our operating funds. Now our operating funds here show that, and I know you can't see in the back the specific numbers, but in the year 2008 we had just over $8 million. And I want to let you know operating funds is our savings in all of these funds that we have. This is what we keep. It's like retained earnings for businesses. This is what they keep. That grew in 2009 to 8.3, in 2010 to 8.6, and in 2011 over $10 million. And I'll talk specifically in a little bit of how our district made that kind of money. Now, as I take a look at this, and something that I think is very important, I chose to join education because I wanted to teach and I wanted to make a difference. I had a choice of whether or not I wanted to be an accountant, or that's kind of what I was looking at, or teaching. And when I start taking a look at these things, I'm not in this to be able to make, as far as the district, we're starting to take a look at them operating as a for-profit business, which is not what I chose to enter into education for. And this is kind of what it's trying to look like up here, as a for-profit business. Besides looking at our operating funds, I wanted to share with you the ed fund, because this comes up all the time, is our education fund. This is where all the teachers' salaries come from. Now, as we take a look at this ed fund, back in 1999, that started at just over $1 million. In that amount of time, that ed fund has grown in 2011 to $4.2 million. Now again, this is savings. These are things the district has retained. This isn't how much we spend. This is how much we've saved in that amount. Now, in the year between 2010 and 2011, 2010, we met with Mr. Younger, and we took a soft freeze then, because we were told deficit spending. We have to be very careful about where we're spending, because we're going to lose money. We've heard this over and over again. So we took a soft freeze to try to retain the learning conditions that we had, the teachers that we have to provide the opportunities for the students that they had. And after we took that soft freeze, 17 teachers lost their jobs. Additional paraprofessionals lost their jobs. We lost an art curriculum at the elementary schools. And in that amount of time, we made $1.5 million. That next year, we maintained that at 4.2. Now I want you to take a look what they're projecting as these losses, because I'm not going to hide from the fact that they're projecting this, but I want to let you know they projected that every year before that. Every single year it was projected that we were going to lose money. Besides the ed fund, there is another fund I wanted to share with you, which is called the working cash fund. And I don't mean to bore you, because an accounting teacher likes numbers, but I do want to let you know from the working cash fund that we see here, this is money we have saved and we can use in our district. It's actually scheduled to take money out throughout the year as things are needed. Now, from this working cash fund, you can see that it is projected to continue to grow. Now, what the teachers are proposing in their contract, what we are proposing, is not going to cause the district to be insolvent in any way, because we're here for the long term. We want to make sure that our district stays solvent, stays strong. So when I look at these numbers as far as the interest off this one account, opportunity costs, here's what I look at. $200,000, that would buy 400 iPads for my class. Not my class, but for the schools. $200,000 would triple our textbook funds, so kids could have books. That's what I see. I see opportunities of what we can do. And as we start taking a look at some of the decisions we're making, it's not going to the students. Here is the latest proposal that we have. And this is kind of leads us into where we are today. The board has changed on financials and financials alone. No changes have been made for student learning conditions. Nothing on class size, nothing on special education teachers, more paraprofessionals, nothing. Nothing on new textbooks, nothing on more technology for our students. Everything denied, everything pushed aside. They have changed financials to eliminate our salary schedule, which is unheard of in our profession. The salary schedule rewards teachers for experience, and it encourages teachers to get more education, to improve the learning environment of the students. They want to increase our salary, just to let you know, 1.5% in years 1 and 3, and in year 2 allow for a soft freeze, which would allow some movement. That means in year 2 we have staff members that would receive no increase at all. They have changed family insurance now, and so instead of it being on the business, they are now saying that if we have family insurance, and I believe this is for new hires only, if we have family insurance and our spouse works somewhere where they're offered insurance, they would take their spouse's insurance. So no longer is it being pushed off onto local businesses on that one. The workday was finally agreed upon, and they have agreed to keep our length of day the same and our calendar year the same. And I think, why did it take so long? Why did it take 10 months to say, yeah, let's just go ahead and do everything we did before? And I think that's what's very frustrating, that for 10 months that we're banging our heads against a wall saying, you want all of this extra, and now they just took that away. So now that isn't an issue, but we still have several issues that we're facing. Here is our last proposal and the proposal we gave them today. We pre-ratified this today. We pre-ratified that we would take a 2% increase. We pre-ratified today that we would do 13% of COBRA, which you can kind of see is in the ballpark of what they offered in insurance. We also have the learning conditions we took care of, but the workday, but the learning conditions is still a big issue for us. We have been fighting and fighting and fighting to try to get this language in the contract, and they keep saying no. They do not want that in the contract. So our latest proposal was, okay, we'll put it in what's called the reference section of the contract. I didn't know what that meant either till today. So today, when they were trying to explain what a reference section was to all of this, it basically means that this is language that we can come to, that we can talk about, but what will actually happen is that this may be helpful to be able to get into the contract in future years. Not going to happen now, but we can maybe get that in future years. So that's kind of where we were with our agreement today, but again, that was quickly denied today. Here's some other issues that we're still working with. Special education classroom sizes, we have not abandoned that. We keep talking about that. Class sizes, trying to get those class sizes down. For example, if we have a class at the high school, and I have one of my colleagues that had 33 students in her foreign language class, and she wants to take them to the computer lab. We only have 30 computers, so 3 kids don't have computers. I have a colleague that teaches a research class, 28 students. Well, we have, I believe, 46-minute class periods. How do you adequately give them enough time to answer the kids' questions during the day? When we keep increasing class sizes, we're taking time away from those students. Student discipline is something we're still maintaining to talk about. Curriculum and classroom resources, retirement benefits. I know this is a terrible situation in the state of Illinois, and I know this is something people don't like to talk about with retirement benefits. It is something that we're still asking for, is the 6% increase for retirement. Here's how it saves the district. I know that people say, how does it save the district if you get 6%? If I were to retire now, and even though I may look old enough to retire, I'm not retiring yet, but if I were to retire, what happens is if they gave me the 6% increases, in 4 years, they're hiring someone at $32,000. So they're saving money. But in our district, I can tell you, we haven't replaced teachers. So they're saving more than just part of that salary. they're saving an enormous amount of money by not replacing teachers. Another thing that we're asking for is to replace the educational days that are lost through the strike. This is a very emotional one for me, because as I looked at the fact that the board wanted us to work 10 extra days a year, 40 minutes more, a day to improve learning in our district is what they said, to give us more face-to-face time with our students. They are now saying that with these strike days, we're not going to make them up. Now, how do you go on one hand saying that 190 days is imperative for student learning, and then say, oh, these extra weeks, that doesn't matter, we're not making them up? But that's what we're dealing with. Those are the things that we're faced with in our district as we're negotiating. Here's the cost of our proposals side by side, just so you know. The board's proposals as of today would cost the district $158,000. Now, you saw that interest in the working cash fund. That can be taken care of just in that interest alone. When we start taking a look at our proposal, it would cost $342,000. Yes, it's more than double what theirs is. But here's some specifics to let you know. We have 4 retiring teachers this year. That is going to save the district $316,000. Now, if they don't replace them, yes, it's a savings of $316,000 to the district. If they replace those teachers, they're going to be coming in at that $32,000 figure. That's going to save them about half. In year 2, we are also going to have, in years 2 and 3, 3 additional teachers retiring. And take a look what happens in year 4. 9. That's a lot of experience that is retiring. And also, on the salary schedule, it's going to open up a lot more room for new teachers to come in, saving the district a lot more money. I think one thing I want to say before I move off this slide is this. We would not ask for something we did not feel the district could afford. This is really important to keep in mind. Because in the news, you hear this all the time from different agencies across the state, that people are asking for more than what they can get. We believe, through the numbers that we have, that the district can afford what we are asking for. Again, we're here for the long run. Many of us have raised our children here. Many of the teachers are continue raising their children and grandchildren here. We have a vested interest in this community as much as you do, and in the school. We are not trying to ask for something that we don't feel the district can afford. Now, a couple things that I want to let you know. If you've written your questions, that's wonderful. And our teams can help answer those questions. I had someone ask me today that they have postcards up here by the door. And these postcards are addressed that you can send to board members, and they'll have stamps on them for you, so that you could send a note to a board member. Also, I wanted to let you know that we're on Facebook. We have our own web page. If you have any email questions, you can go to those, or any questions you'd like to address by email, that's up here as well that you can take a look at. But also, just by going to our website, you'll have that information and an instant link to our email. The community, and it's hard because this is very stressful for everybody, for you and for us. But one thing that I've seen here, and I've lived in Dixon my entire married life, and as we take a look at this community, you have been incredible. The staff here... Our staff has seen so much care and love from this community. I can't even tell you how much it's been. Not just from people donating food and things like that, but just text messages, emails, students making signs. I mean, the care and appreciation you have shown education here in our community is just very overwhelming. And we appreciate that greatly, all of the sacrifices that you've made and everything you've done for us. We're going to take some time time right now to answer questions, and you are done having to listen to me now. But we will have various people be able to answer